Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are on a tumultuous episode number 15 of Meet the CC. Thank you very much to Mr. Flambass for joining us today. Welcome. How are you, bud?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Good. Thank you very much.
Episode 15 already?
Yeah, 15 already.
Damn, dude. You're kicking off, huh?
It's the beauty of these is they're short, they're sweet, they're quick. They won't take wonders. And it's just going to be dead quick and easy for us all because we're all very busy. I mean, you're putting in best part of nearly 50 hours a week, plus everything else on top.
It's kind of really hard to listen to right now because you are half robotic voice. You sound like a robot.
Hang on, let me just...
So I don't know if that's going to be on the recording as well, or is it going to be much clearer?
It's clear on the recording side. I think it might just be Discord. I'll tell you what. Let me drop this off. How's that for you?
Much better.
Aha.
Much better. Let me guess. RTX.
No, that wasn't RTX. That was actually that was Discord's version of RTX actually.
Oh, okay.
We were trying it out. There's a little bit of lag on this side, but it should clear up. There we go. So, everyone knows you as Flambass. Do you have any other in-game names? Well, you've just changed it as well, haven't you?
Yes, on EU we changed it to Hans Gets the Buckets. Yeah, it was one of my favorite ones. I do gotta admit, and I'm very grateful and thankful to the community that was actually voting on it, that they picked one of these because there were some pretty questionable suggestions. You're always kind of running a risk. Letting the community do something for you, but my community really was bloody awesome. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, and it is a good place to chill out your channel. I do enjoy them. There's some interesting characters in there. Not looking at anybody, dictator. Don't spit your drink out.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been playing Warships, and what's your favorite ship, dude?
I've been playing Warships pretty much, well, not exactly since it came out, but almost. Yep. It was closed beta when they kind of allowed you to buy a bundle.
Yeah.
We should have known back then that bundles are going to be a thing.
kind of advice, weren't we?
Yeah, I think you had like a Sims, Gremyashki, and Yubari.
Yeah, Yubari, that's it. Yeah,
I think... Yeah, it was like some gold, maybe some premium time, and one of those three ships, or all three.
Yeah.
And there was an option where you could buy one of those bundles and you get immediately access to the closed beta. Now, considering I was never really a tester before or anything like that, I don't even recall if I tried, to be honest, to apply to test it. But even if I did, they didn't accept me.
Yeah.
So when there was this option, I was really, really into it because I was watching Jingle's videos at the time, and I was like, wow, this looks amazing. Because me and my dad were always looking at games, at history, Discovery Channel, and all the stuff. We were massive fans of history, at least World War II. And we were like, dude, can you imagine how fantastic and awesome it would be to be a captain of, let's say, Bismarck?
Yeah.
And we were just fantasizing, and we were playing World of Tanks at the time. But then eventually we kind of started getting burned out of World of Tanks, and there was some news that World of Warships is coming, and I knew immediately I want to jump in on that as soon as it's out. So when they finally announced that you can get in by buying one of these bundles, I wanted to do it immediately. The only problem was money. Yeah, I'm like basically dead broke for majority of my life, to be honest. So money, like the place where I live is just, like the standards here are very high in comparison to the income. So even, I think it was like 35 euros for one of those bundles. Even
sounds about right,
massive problem, But I did manage to somehow muster it, buy it, and damn, I enjoyed every second of it. Like closed beta, and then open beta, and then full release. I really had a lot of fun and enjoyed playing ships.
I
don't know.
I think everyone. I think there's some of the things I've seen you do. I mean, destroyer play as well. Your destroyer play is artistic.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not. I mean that not. I mean that in like it's literally brushstrokes the way you draw, the way you do your DD work. It's very, very, very good. So
Well,
I think for me, I'd say destroyers are something that you just excel at. That's just from the outsider's view.
I was kind of forced to do it, whether I liked it or not, because I mean, when the whole game started out, we enjoyed playing destroyers, and then we enjoyed playing cruisers because they felt like they were really hard to play, but satisfying when you master it. Battleships is something that I really never enjoyed playing at the beginning, because I simply had nothing to do for 30-35 seconds, and they were incredibly slow. They are today as well. If you play like tier 3, 4, 5, for example,
Yes,
they can be very, very painful and very repulsive. So I really never understood the deal. And until I learned the manual drops, for those of you who actually remember RTS
carrier manual
yeah.
drops. Yeah.
When you didn't know how to do manually, and you didn't the first couple of times you played, they were not interesting to play either. You would just left click, planes would go, that they would do their thing, they would probably potato because it was auto drops, and then they would come back, and you were just sitting there staring at nothing. So I was all about DDs and cruisers. Eventually, I grew to love battleships when you get to like mid, high, and high tiers.
Yep.
Because they're a lot faster and more agile. The reloads sometimes go down as well, and then I thought I would never learn how to shoot, but after a while you kind of master it. But then I got into the competitive side of World of Warships, which was from day one. It was my goal. Like if there was ever going to be a competitive side, I want to get in.
Yep.
And there were plenty of battleship players, really, really good battleship players. There were plenty of really good cruiser players, and we had some of the best carrier players in the world. There was just this one class that nobody could play properly, and this class was destroyers. And we were at a time, we were a clan that was trying to be the best, and every player was pushed to do things outside of their comfort zone as well. So not just like, yes, you can have your main class, but you also need to have at least one more class on which you're pretty damn good. Good enough to be at least somewhat competitive against other relatively good players. At a time, I was actually a BB main. Competitive was a tier 8. Yeah, and Magi was my...
Wow.
I was enjoying the crap out of that. I couldn't afford turpits for the longest period of time. And I always suffered when I would see turpits coming at me. But then when we would get into training rooms and the main BB players were kind of there already, then we would be pushed to go outside of our comfort zone and play whatever needs to be playing. And destroyers were always lacking. And then, I wanted to play. I wanted to train. I wanted to participate. So I would like, yeah, sure, I'll do the DDs. At first, I was scared. You were just trembling. It was one of the only classes in the game that I did not feel safe and secure playing. But the only way to overcome that is to constantly be pushed on the front line and endure it and get used to it. Make it your normal part of the day. Eventually, you just get used to it. You relax and you learn, or you don't, obviously. But you kind of learn to adapt and you know what to do. And the FCs at a time recognized that I was doing relatively well playing a destroyer. So they were like, dude, like, if you don't mind, we have good battleship players. We're not saying you're not a good battleship player, but we have. Would you please be willing to play as a DD for this? I don't know, clan battle or training battles. It was all community organized back in the day.
Yeah.
I was like, sure, no problem. And eventually, got my chance at the King of the Sea, and that's where it all started.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
So, question 3 for this. I've actually got some insight on this, haven't I? Because what other games outside of Warships can we find you on? I've killed you several times in PUBG.
The infamous taxi Uber driver.
And most recently GTFO as well.
Yes. Although you can't kill me per se there, you can kill the entire squad though.
Yeah, I can get you all killed, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all do it. I don't really like there's a lot of games that I play, to be honest, and the more the time passes by, the more I'm trying to go outside of just World of Warships, because playing just one game for how many years now?
5 years at least.
Yeah, it really, like you've done everything there was to go. I have every single ship in the game and everything, so I tried to push myself on other games as well. So recently I started playing XCOM 2 again. Have a massive fun playing that and creating characters and stuff, like my moderators, having jingles, potato, get the entire squad detected, and then everybody in the enemy team shoots and kills the dictator, for example. One of the things that happened, and stuff like that. But recently I became a CC for War Thunder as well.
Wow.
I've been playing some tanks, I've been playing some ships. I suck at planes. You could argue that I suck everywhere, but at planes, really not that good. But I do enjoy playing the game. I've been playing War Thunder for longer than ships was even made, just not that much. Besides that, I mean, I did used to play a bit of Rainbow Six Siege and PUBG, World War Z. We play GTFO, like we have to get up again and get the second rundown going. I don't know, I have like 20 games installed on my PC in the moment. League, I know.
Wow.
League of Legends, yes.
I would never have said that.
Yeah, a lot of people actually get very surprised because I used to play, like really, really back in the day when I was still at university, I was playing Counter-Strike and Dota. And then eventually all my potato friends were playing League because nobody was good enough to play Dota. And then I decided, fine, I'll switch to League. So I switched to League. It doesn't mean that I'm really good at it, but I do have fun.
Fair play.
StarCraft, Company of Heroes, Postscriptum, Golf with Your Friends. Probably seen that.
Yep.
I don't know, like a whole bunch of games. Subnautica. I loved Subnautica 1, and I can't wait for the Below Zero to come out and be ready to, like, full release. I'm waiting for it to be full release, and then I'm digging in.
I won't spoil it then. I've got Below Zero, so I won't spoil it.
I got it too. I played the very first iteration. But they changed. Yeah,
There's a lot changed.
They did like 7-8 patches after that, and they changed the entire story. I don't want to know a thing. I just want the game to be fully released so that I can get immersed and enjoy and sink many, many hours.
I won't say anything. I say Subnautica for me. I kind of play the creative sandbox only. So I kind of don't play the story mode. I do play the story mode, but in the creative sandbox where you can just go crazy with your builds and everything. So it's high how out of the water can I build those towers and things like that, and towers going away. I just have fun with it. I treat it like a big box of Lego.
Yeah, but nothing really stops you from doing that on the live servers. I mean, live server on a regular story mode. It's just you probably get less resources in the real history playthrough than.
I couldn't build what I've built in the real world, in the real world version.
Okay.
So, question 4 for you: how would you describe your content? What do you think? How do you describe your content?
Well, it kind of changed throughout the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I never really at the start intended to be a YouTuber or a streamer. That kind of was just a logical move because I wanted to be like a competitive gamer, like a pro gamer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, World of Warships never really went that far as World of Tanks did, because in World of Tanks you have these.
You used to have the full leagues and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, in championships and stuff like that. I don't know that they still have it today, but it was for like longest period of time.
No, they don't. They don't have that anymore. But it still exists, but not anywhere near as big as it was when you had like the grand finals in Prague and all that kind of stuff.
I wanted to. Yeah. I was playing tanks. I was a massive tanks nerd, geek, fan, whatever you want to do it. I mean, I still kind of am.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go and I wanted to do it there because I was relatively good at World of Tanks. Had a lot of games played and stuff, but I could never really find a team of people that were willing to go all the way, like compete on a professional level. And when Chips came out, I knew I wanted to go in, and I knew that from day one, I want to go hardcore. And relatively soon, I found a clan for it, and I was like, "Yep, let's go." So at early, I was all about the competing, learning, improving myself, being the best that I can and the best team player that I can, and see what we can do. We would spend days and hours and weeks and months and years in like training rooms and stuff. But then after a while, I kind of got into the whole streaming and YouTubing, and I got out of the competitive. I started basically casting competitive, so I didn't need to spend all the time on training. I could do other things. And then I kind of started goofing around, and that's where the whole Hans and Jean Pierre and all this kind of crap emerged. So I would, if I would have to describe it, I don't really know exactly how, but just goofy. But I mean, I'm not competitive anymore, so I can't really say I'm competitive. But I know all there is to know, pretty much. Like, there's always stuff you can learn.
Yeah.
I like to have fun. I like to have it relaxed and funny and fun and do crazy things that nobody would like think this can work. I really like to push myself to the limits. That's where the competitive me comes into play.
Except for the 2 weeks after everybody who's watched you on Twitch sees you going through the middle on Two Brothers.
Yeah, I have a bit of a reputation on that.
Just a bit. I mean, we can blame the old man for that. I mean, he helped elevate that to a whole new level.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it because it's a part of the map. And Two Brothers used to be my favorite map regardless of the middle channel.
Yeah.
And then I discovered that middle channel can be played to a pretty big strategical advantage.
Yep.
If your team plays the way they're supposed to, and if you play the way you're supposed to, it can be really, really beneficial. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for me, I don't know, a lot of people, like big majority of people, have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No,
unfortunately for me, I got to a point where I can't even play that map anymore. Now, even if I don't want to go through the middle, the chat is like, middle. I'm like, oh. Yeah. God, my favorite map is ruined.
I will say from the side of the viewer, because I do actually watch your streams. I will say that your content to me is definitely funny, definitely informative, but at the same time, you can clearly see the next level sort of. You say you're not competitive anymore, but I mean, Con, you're casting King of the Sea. I mean, you've done that with my Biscuitgate partner stats as well. We've obviously got the awesome 1v1 competition that Pepiette came up with that you're a massive part of. And you still got your finger on the competitive side of things. I'm
still involved in competitive gaming. I'm just not competing myself. But
you definitely still can. I think I'd say you definitely can.
I do like to think that if one day, for some reason, there would be a really good team that wouldn't mind having like full disclosure and literally showing everything. Because one of the major problems that I ran into, and pretty much everybody else that was doing streaming, is if you wanted to compete on a professional level,
they don't want to show what's going on.
You don't want to. Your team does not want everybody else to know what you're doing. Yep. And I wanted to be, when I got into the streaming, I wanted to be the first streamer that showed. Well, definitely not first streamer in the world because there are other games. But in World of Warships, I want to be the first guy that kind of really showed, from a very successful career and point of view, what goes on in a team that wins everything. Success, and how does it look from the inside? And a lot of people that actually got a bit of the insight were shocked because it was very, very messy, and people didn't expect that. How can a team that performs so well be so messy within? But that's how we functioned. So I wanted to stream that. I wanted to show people that this is how the things look from the inside of a pro competitive gamer thingy. But eventually, people start picking up too much of your strategies and everything, and then the team is like, no, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I competed for long enough. And then considering the streaming, it was a logical move to try and cast it. And I really enjoyed doing that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like to believe that if there was a team that wouldn't mind, that I could go back to competitive, but I would have to train myself again. I would have to be, I would have to brush myself from a rock to a diamond. Like, I do still have skill, but you don't play the game in random battles basically nearly as close. You don't have the same playstyle, you don't have the same mind process, and definitely you're taking the risks in random that you wouldn't do and you wouldn't take in competitive. So I would have to shift completely. I don't think people really realize how different competitive from random is. Yeah. You get used to random, or you get used to one, and then the other suffers.
I have to apologise, by the way. I've just had a bit of a wobble on my connection, so you went a bit robotic. So apologies everyone for that. But basically, everything that you've just said was exactly what you covered before as well, which is great. So we'll leave it in so you can see the technical issues that happens when you record these. Next question for you. Picture of you there with all your school chums as you've come out of school, with the end of year book of everyone you've gone through school with. What's the quote that's underneath the picture of Flambass?
Do you have your papieren? I don't know what else. I literally don't know what else. So like special tactics or something like that. I really don't know what else.
Do you have your papieren?
Yeah. One of the catchphrases.
Yeah, I can see that. Actually, I can actually see that actually being the case as well. Right. Yeah. So, what's Flambass's favourite band or song, or both? What do you listen to just chill out, relax? So,
that's something that I really can't answer right now because there is none. I don't think there's just one song. Yeah, there's not one song or one band that is.
What about favourite type then, or favourite genres? What type?
I can tell you what used to. Well, definitely rock and metal. Like I like the hard stuff.
Wow.
One of my favorite bands for the longest period of time, since high school till I don't know, maybe a few years ago, was In Flames.
Okay.
It's partially how the whole nickname came to be, but I listened to them for like half of my life. I don't know. I really was into it. But then eventually you just get to a point where, like, I don't know, last 5 years or something like that, maybe more, I just literally started listening to everything. I didn't have internet for the longest period of my life. Like, I was mid-university when I finally got internet, and it was like a pretty crappy one. And then I started discovering like the YouTube, the Googling, and all the stuff. So if you go to YouTube and search for one of my playlists, you're probably gonna find everything in it. It's just like I like the song on the playlist. Nice. So everything, like from some crazy pop techno crap, even though I'm not a huge fan of those kind of things, to the craziest metal and rock you can find. But my thing is mostly like rock and metal. Yeah.
I've got I'm a little bit. I never had you down as a rock or a metal fan. I always thought it'd be something. Really? No, I always thought you'd be something more, either more chilled and relaxed, or more like what you call like classic rock. Some like ZZ Top, all that kind of stuff. I never had you down as like.
My dad is the classic rocker. And he played drums when he was my age and stuff. Well, younger than me, I guess. So I know I have a fair share of songs being played throughout my life that are Queen, AC/DC, I don't know, UB40, whatever, name it, like whatever, ZZ Top as well. Like, I've listened through a fair share of that because I would just get home when I was living with my parents and something hard rock would just be playing. So I know a lot about that, but personally I was always a bit harder stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, but maybe you can't really
you never know how your tastes are going to change.
You can't really see it now. Short hair, glasses, doing the PC stuff, but I used to have hair that was all the way to my bottom.
Wow.
And metal shirts, no glasses. Yeah, so I can see how this can be deceptive.
Insight to Flambass before. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, right, question 7. Off the back of the feedback from some of the CCs that we have already interviewed, we've changed this now. Before we were asking for your dad jokes. Now it's just simply, tell us a joke.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You would think that someone that deals with jokes on a daily basis would have something at hand.
You know, that's very true.
Yeah.
What's something
Well,
that's...
I can be a bit spicy. And
it's got to be
yeah.
usable.
Yeah, it's what is the question? Joke that's usable? I mean, it's very usable. It's like wargaming's balance.
Do you know what? You're the first one who's taken that and taken it.
I am sorry. I like to take some shots occasionally like that.
The thing that one thing I will
I'm
say,
sure nobody will take it.
Oh hell no!
Way, right?
Nah, and that's the thing. Okay, from
they try.
Yeah. I mean, from seeing you,
God is their witness. They try.
Yeah, and from seeing your interaction with them and seeing just how it is as well. It always comes across in the right way. Even though you can be going hammer and tongs about something, but it comes across in the right way just purely because of the passion behind it to want it to go forward.
I care about the game. I care about the game, and very often in the like CC Discord, I go like basically to war against some of the wargaming employees, and then
you do
even in private chat and stuff like that, and they just don't they kind of fail to understand like where is this all coming from. Like, I care about the game, don't get me wrong, but I don't care about you as the company. I care about the game. Your product is what I care for. And a lot of people think that CCs are bought and paid and biased towards wargaming. Have you seen my content?
Exactly.
Like, no, dude, I fight for the game. I fight for the real balance. I fight for what I like, and I will just
keep doing that. And that's the thing. I mean, one thing I will say is that the vast majority of us, and this is kind of my own personal opinion to a degree, but the vast majority of us, we're all in the same boat. We do have the passion for the game. Yeah. Some of us have got passion for the technical side of it. Some of us have got passion for the gameplay and the balance, and the competitive side and how the community reacts to things like that. Some of us have got passion for the quirky little things in the game, and but the overall thing is we all have a love and a passion of the game. We all enjoy it.
We wouldn't be here otherwise. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I mean, I don't want wargaming to. Well, I don't want myself to come off like, oh my god, he's just shooting at wargaming. There's plenty of things that wargaming does a lot better than most other companies do. But there's just, when it comes to like the actual in-game experience and some of the balances, this is where I go to war with them. This is where I strongly I'm like a super strong opposition, because I simply don't agree with everything they say. But as a company, like if we take a look from the outside, it's not just the in-game balance. They do like a lot of really, really fantastic things, from the entire CC program to actually inviting us to events like tournaments, invited us to St. Petersburg for the whole thing. We pretty much knew the subs were coming out before anyone else did.
Yep.
It was, I mean, they do so many great things. It's just,
and one thing
when it comes to this most important thing from the player's perspective, that's where we just really, really go the opposite ways. So.
And I mean, that's one thing I will say. For everything that you do go to war with them to, you do also give them credit and due where it's due. A lot of us do on the Discord as well. When something's right, we tell them it's right. And like you said, sometimes there is a little bit of a disconnect, because obviously we kind of have a more personal empathy with the community as such, whereas obviously from the business side of things, they've got to go off the numbers, off what the server data is telling.
The company,
and it's two different views that will always collide, but at the same time, they do take it on board to a degree, from what I've seen, and they do. I think I've seen it written a couple of times by them as well, haven't they? Where basically they know that what the data says versus what the player experiences and versus what the community tells us doesn't always match. Yeah, doesn't always.
They even created an emote.
Yep. They did.
The thing that Flambass hates, and it's a little
an Excel
green
spreadsheet.
file. Yeah, Excel.
Yep.
It's like you and your data. I'm trying to tell you about the experience, how it feels.
And that's it. And that's one thing that is always difficult to match up.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for taking the time to join us in this, Flambass.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Where can people find your content at, so we can put all the links for them in the description of the video when it goes live? So,
I mean, Twitch, YouTube,
yep,
Twitter, Discord.
Yep.
I mean, it's all Flambass. Besides Twitter, Twitter is, I believe,
Flambass _ EU.
Yeah, because Flambass was taken, apparently. Believe it or not, there was a YouTuber called Flambass as well. He was a bass player.
Wow.
Surprise. I think some French bass player. So I was like, ugh! But somehow actually, I don't know. I don't remember why, but I do remember that it worked. Like, I think there's like 2 of us.
Nice.
But you don't have to be a genius to find it. You literally just type Flambass pretty much in any of your search, and I'll come up in one way or the other. As for Discord, I do believe you need to have a direct invite.
Well,
and it is, I think, one of the biggest Discord communities right now. Like, 14-ish thousand members, something like that. It's a pretty
Discord.
big community.
Yeah. So
there's just literally, sorry to interrupt you. There's just one thing that I'm actually staring at the questions. You asked me about the favorite ship.
Yeah.
I would say like 2, Des Moines and Jean Bart.
Wow.
Like, I always open my day with Des Moines and Jean Bart because I really, really, really enjoy playing their ships, and they very rarely let me down.
There you go.
Jean Bart recently. But I love those 2 ships.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I know today is technically your day off, so it's your day of relaxing with the pussycat. And
yeah, 2 of them.
Oh, both.
No, I actually have a lot of things to take care of. I just came from my parents, and now I have to do the 1v1 tournament preparations for this weekend. But yeah, dude, I told you, like, no problem.
So thank you very much. Guys, I will ask Mr. Flambass for his links, so if you can DM me them, and I'll put them in the description. You probably already know who he is, but we'll be in there for you anyway. Thank you for taking your time to join us, Flambass. Have a great evening, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll catch you all again soon. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night.